Do you find that when you're communicating to your partner, oftentimes it does not turn out how you want it to turn out? That's because you don't have a communication checklist. That's what today's video is about. Welcome to Love Inspiry Space on the internet. Stick around with us and let's talk love. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Love Inspiry Space on the internet. I'm your girl Angie Rolle, the founder of Love Inspiry, where our mission is to build more powerful, transparent, and durable relationships. Today we're talking about communication and a checklist you need to have checked off before you talk to your significant other. So whether you're talking about something serious, whether you're talking about something minimal, whatever the case may be, you really need to think about these things that I'm about to share with you today. The first thing is to make sure that your intentions are pure. You guys hear me say this all the time if you are an avid follower of mine, but if you're new, I always talk about making sure that your intentions are pure. You will find that sometimes your communication doesn't go anywhere. It's because the problems that you were talking about and the things that you were talking about is surface level. You're not getting to the root of it. What I mean by surface level is you may be fussing about your partner forgetting to clean the stove off. Your partner may forgetting to do something around the house that you asked them to do. Whatever the case may be. You may be upset about that, but you're not really upset about those minimal things. You're upset about something bigger. You may come home from work, you're upset at work and you're angry. This was me back in 2014, 2015, where I used to come home so angry all the time, and I would find and nitpick on things that just weren't important. It wasn't really the problem. Arguing over nothing. This is what happens, and this is what I mean by making sure your intentions are pure. Make sure that when you go to communicate a concern or a problem with your partner, that you know exactly what it is that you are trying to say and what exactly is the problem. By really honing in and discovering what you're upset about, it will help you organize your thoughts so you can come off more crystal clear and more laser focused instead of bringing up surface level things, arguing over technicalities and semantics and all that stuff that really truly means nothing in the relationship at this point. Always make sure you get to the root and your intentions are pure when you start talking to your significant other. The second thing on your checklist is to monitor your approach and language. This is not something we tend to think about. If you know you are angry, wait till you cool down to have the conversation. Focus on what kind of tone you want to use. Focus on what kind of approach you want to take. Oftentimes I tell people, don't just come up to your partner and tell them what they're doing wrong. Make it a little fun. Make it a little, and I don't want to use the word fun, but make it a little bit more conversational as opposed to chastisement. So what I mean by this is come up and talk about the weather, talk about something with the kids, and then ease your way into whatever it is you're trying to communicate. We have the power to control how the conversation is going to go, how we want the conversation to end. And this means making sure that you are conscious of your approach and conscious of the language that you're going to use. Sometimes we can look at cussing as an aggressive force. So obviously you don't want to start cussing at your partner or use cuss words in it because it can come off aggressive. Now the conversation shifts to something else. But always focus on how you want to approach your situation, what type of tone you want to use. I see that that does not happen in relationships, and it's something that we really need to be mindful of. The third thing that I want you to do is make sure that you are absolutely having conversations undistracted. Don't have them in front of people. Don't have them while the TV is on. Don't have them while you're in your phone. But have undistracted communication. And when you have undistracted communication, you can really focus in and say what you need to say, and your partner can listen thoroughly. Now, when you have distractions in the background, oftentimes people will pick out keywords. People will pick out words that they hear think as negative and take that as the gist of the conversation. So you never want to have an important conversation while things are going on. Set aside some time and be intentional in your time and be conscious of your approach so that you can have an effective conversation. And the fourth thing that I want to talk about in your communication checklist is to make sure that if the conversation does escalate to a place you feel like it's escalating, tell your partner, let's take a breather, let's take a moment and table this conversation. This is how you prevent intense moments of fellowship. This is how you prevent arguments turning into full-blown fights. Taking a breather. Never let anybody convince you that it's not effective to take a breather. Take a moment and a step back and evaluate how you want this conversation to go. I do it all the time. My husband is saying something I don't like. Well, partner, let me get a moment to myself. Let me think about it, what it is that you're saying. Then I can come back and have an effective conversation. It's the best way to handle things instead of arguing about it, because that'll get you absolutely nowhere. I promise sometimes if you go off in your quiet time, you can find a way to either evaluate the best way to say something, or you may just find that your partner is right and accurate in what it is that they're saying. In other words, what I'm trying to say is make sure that you are considering your partner's feelings when you're communicating, where you're at, as opposed to focusing on everything that you need to get off your chest. I'm not telling you don't get it off your chest. I'm telling you be intentional in how you go about doing it. So in today's video, your communication checklist, we talked about making sure your intentions are pure. Are you saying this just because you're angry, or are you saying this because it's a true problem? Are you saying this because it's a true problem, or are you saying this because you had a bad day at work? Think about those things. We talked about being respectful in your approach and watching the tone, language that you use. It's pretty self-explanatory. Watch words. The third thing we talked about is being undistracted. This is very, very huge, because you don't want your partner to misinterpret anything you say because they are distracted. And the last thing we talked about is don't be afraid to take a breather. Take a moment and think before you decide to speak again. All right, guys, I'll see you guys all in the next video. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, join the fam. Want to talk to me one-on-one? Your girl got you. Head over to www.loveinspiry.com, where I will be more than happy to discuss everything relationships with you. Guys, I love to talk relationships. This is my pleasure.
That's my pleasure.
I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a blessed day.